Shalom, my brothers and sisters. Shalom. And welcome. Welcome. This is Words and Questions to Yashar'al, Nation of Believers. My name is Symmanayah, and if you are tuning in for the very first time, you will come to know that Yashar'al, Nation of Believers, of whom I am referencing, are all those, every last one of you, who seek to worship and obey Almighty Yahuah and accept Yahusha as Mashiach, as Messiah. This consists of both Hebrew and Goyim, Arbi or Ibri, and Gentiles, other nations, made one by Yahusha, our Mashiach, our Messiah. So many miss the life in the words of righteousness that describe a nation that is awakening, who seek to worship and obey Almighty Father Yahuah. With that said, today is September 23rd, and in this segment, I want to address brighter lights. Brighter lights in the presence of truth. And the question I ask, are we prepared to yield to righteousness as things become clearer? Scriptures mention of 4 lights. However, there are more people who prefer to ignore the very first light. I have witnessed so many believers focusing on the scriptures as it relates to 2 lights, one being the sun, the greater, and the moon, the lesser. I am not sure why we glaze over or plainly neglect that Almighty Father, the Almighty Father Yahuah, who is the beginning and end, who is Aleph Tah, has a brilliance beyond any other light. Consider Revelation 21, verses 23 through 27, which I will read in a moment. But just to let you know, this passage speaks on no need. There will come a time where we won't need the sun or the moon. So there's an importance when it comes to the light. And it says we will have the light. That is the physical light in the brilliance, in the righteousness before us of the Almighty Father. And that is something that is important that we must come to understand. I invite you to ponder, even pray on the many occasions we see in scriptures referencing the importance of light. I invite you to pray earnestly about the significance of light, how it contrasts against darkness. While in your prayer, consider the Hebrew people who sought to worship and obey the Most High Father Yahuah. Consider how their actions, most of their actions were of worship and obedience, was during daylight hours. Yes, during daylight hours. They didn't have electricity back then, my brothers and sisters. And we were created in such a way that we are most productive. We get most work done during daylight hours. Our routine of work cycles from one daylight to the next daylight. This is important to understand, my brothers and sisters. So many failed to witness the importance of light. While in your prayer, remember true worshipers who were most productive in their work, worship and obey. People witness their actions, receive instructions widely during daylight hours. Hebrews were also an agriculture people without electricity and a propensity to work during the daylight hours. They did not waste resources. In other words, they did not spend most of their time burning through resources such as wood and fire to conduct business or work during the nighttime hours. There was no electricity during these days, as I had mentioned. With these factors in mind, any daylight whatsoever was appreciated. The sun was given for a purpose, and the moon as well, which is described as the lesser light. What benefit can a completely dark moon have other than to allow one to close their eyes and sleep? Yes, that might have seemed like that came out of nowhere, my brothers and sisters, but there's a purpose for that. And for those who seek to hear and listen will come to know and understand that purpose. But know this, my brothers and sisters. Think about what the scriptures mention regarding slumber and sleep. Think about the time one will sleep and contrast it or compare it to working, being obedient, being functional, worshiping, obeying the Most High Father. For some reason, my brothers and sisters, we misunderstand the importance of light, physical, natural, practical light, and the righteous light from above. My brothers and sisters, you may wonder, where am I going with these words? No, let's establish 4 lights in the order of priority before I continue. The light from above, from the Almighty Father, His brilliance, the sun, the moon, and the stars. But who can discern their purpose? Who can discern and accept why and how the order was presented to us as such? He who is able to discern will improve their walk along the path towards maturity, the path towards improved worship and obedience to the Father. Many people's perceptions are off when it comes to Genesis 1:5. But let me read 1, 3, 4, and 5 before I continue. Genesis 1:3 reads, and Elohim said, let light come to be, and light came to be. Now remember, this is the Father speaking, so it actually began with Him. He is light. Moving on, Genesis 1:4, and Elohim saw the light that it was good, and Elohim separated the light from the darkness. Keep in mind, he's talking about the light first. And Elohim called the light day, and the darkness he called night. And there came to be evening, and there came to be morning the first day. So many people miss this, my brothers and sisters. So many people interpret these words to say that darkness came first, then morning, darkness came first, then or evening became first, then morning came, and that marked the day. You see, the thing about literacy or interpretation or understanding written words is that if we trust the letter, we will miss the life that is meant to be, to bring about the function of true worship, true righteousness, true obedience to the Most High. So when the Spirit makes alive, we come to see that day was first, evening, then morning. If you really pray, my brothers and sisters, many of you will be surprised. Even if you come to study the text, you'll find that the Hebrew word for evening means the separation of daylight and night. And this happens twice a day. But this segment is not to bring about the debate on that or the focus strongly on that. This segment is mainly just to bring to mind the order of service as it relates to light, the brighter lights, and consider the lesser lights. Many people's perceptions are off on Genesis 1:5. They have come to believe that it began with night, then morning first. Again, I'm not here to argue or debate you. I will invite you to pray on that matter. Many glaze over the verse where it states called light day and darkness night and misinterpret this verse altogether. But I'm aware of this that this passage is widely debatable among believers. Pray for true discernment regarding these words. But as Yashar'al is perfected, as humbling events increase, as chaos, as civil unrest, turmoil, as famine and drought increase, in the wake of these humbling events, we will come to hear and identify the voice of the Mashiach more clearly. We will come to know and accept and recognize what is true and respond to the perfecting of the body that will be awakened and demonstrated to the world. Yashar'al, body of believers. Consider this: the original worshipers of the Most High faced a large attempt to destroy our way of life. In other words, there were a lot of people fighting to destroy our way of life, our worship to the Most High Father. And even though the original scriptures were written long before the invention of the name Jew, or the invention before the letter of J, and do not be deceived, my brothers and sisters, Jew was not derived from Judah or Yehudah. That is just a lame statement that is made to confuse you and throw you off. No, it was an invented letter. J was an invented letter, and the term Jew was a created label for those who sought to corrupt the righteousness of Almighty Yahuah. There are those who are of this representation who have no clue to the history. And there are those who understand the truth. Let the history and the proof come. It will emerge more clear, my brothers and sisters. You see, what happened, in my belief, is that because Yashar'al, true Yashar'al, was scattered because of disobedience, because there's an attack on our true way of life and worship. Many of us, when we discovered who we are, Hebrews by race, Hebrews who desire to worship and obey, it is both race, but mainly our heart's desire, our decision to be worshipers of the Most High Father, to serve Him. Many of us, as we discovered our identity, went and thought that the Ashkenazim or the Ashkenazi, the Khazar, those who call themselves Jews, many of us thought that they was reflecting the true practices of Yashar'al that was given since the days of Moshe. But in fact, their practices merely represent excerpts of what they've taken from original scriptures and shaped into their own religion, or shaped into a religion called Judaism. Be mindful, my brothers and sisters. I am not seeking to argue, debate anyone over the matter of Judaism or religion. But I will say this: as the light brightens, the truth will come out. As the light brightens and the days draw closer to the return of Mashiach. Revelations 2:9 and 3:9, which talks about those who claim to be of the chosen of Yahuah, but are of the synagogue of Satan. What those two verses mean will come out. It will become clear, and we will come to realize what is expected from us, by us, of us. This segment would not go any further on the matter of Shabbat when it comes to celebrating, because it was the Ashkenazim that brought about that night to night. It was them who presented, or better yet, just get down to the root of it. It was the enemy. But I'm not here to debate on that matter. But I am compelled to continue on the matter of lights and the advantages of brighter lights, both natural, practical, and spiritual. I am also aware that light is used symbolically to reference righteousness. Let us continue on with the subject. Genesis 1:15 reads as follows: "And let them be for lights in the expanse of the heavens to give light on the earth. And it came to be so." 1:16 through 17 continues on and read, "And Elohim made two great lights, the greater light to rule the day, the lesser light to rule the night, and the stars. And Elohim set them in the expanse of the heavens to give light on the earth, and to rule over the day and over the night, and to separate the light from the darkness. And Elohim saw that it was good." Just ponder on these scriptures, my brothers and sisters. Ponder on them, for they have purpose. Revelations 21:23 through 27, I would want to read to you. And it reads as follows. 23. "And the city had no need of the sun nor of the moon to shine in it. For the esteem of Elohim lighten it, and the Lamb is its lamp. And the Gentiles of those who are saved shall walk in its light, and the sovereigns of the earth bring their esteem into it. And its gates shall not be shut to all by day, for night shall not be there. And they shall bring the esteem and the appreciation of the Gentiles into it. And there shall be by no means enter into it whatever is unclean, neither anyone doing abomination or falsehood, but only those who are written in the Lamb's book of life. Are we told to worship and obey the Almighty Father Yahuah and accept Yahusha as Messiah, and acknowledge that the Almighty Father sent his set-apart spirit in Yahusha's name? Is this presented to us in Scripture? Are we to expect that by seeking to earnestly worship and obey his guidance, the Almighty Father's living instruction and guidance, that it can and will result in seeing clearly? Can one see more clearly in the light? Can we embrace that it is through light that things are made known, uncovered, and revealed to us? I submit to you, my brothers and sisters, in order for many of these scriptures to be proven, we have, and must continue to accept that things that are hidden will be revealed and uncovered as light becomes brighter, as light open our eyes to see more clearly. Lighting the way for our maturity and growth will come from he that is Ancient of Days, through the set-apart Spirit whom he has sent in Yahusha's name. With the message in these words presented in this segment, I ask you, as and when things become clear, as light gets brighter, what will you do? Who can discern the preparations, the training, and development from the set-apart Spirit sent by the Almighty Father Yahuah in Yahusha's name? Who has established an earnest mind, body, and soul to worship and or improve their worship to the Most High Father and seek to obey his words? Failure to realize the importance of life and how it plays a role in our growing to perfection will result in much heartache, disappointment, and regret. We are in the last days. Yes, my brothers and sisters, end times are upon us, and I strongly suggest that each of us begin to ask questions, seek answers, and earnestly pray to discern and understand what is expected of us in the coming days. We will be forced to transition and come closer together. Those who are walking in obedience, those who have been designated to participate in the fulfillment of Scripture as it relates to Yashar'al's gathering. We will see those who will become strong and powerful and will represent the kingdom, the sovereignty of Yahusha, the sovereignty of Yahusha, the people of Yashar'al. We will witness some that will be strong, that will become martyrs. Yes, my brothers and sisters, these are end times. Brighter lights will result with the presence of truth being magnified. Pray and watch. Instructions, reproof, discipline, judgment, and wrath will become all too real as we witness written scriptures become more alive, as we see signs of the times intensify, as we see the proof that was written long before our existence, a proof that was established to be, will come to be known among those walking the face of the earth. Pray and watch. Obstacles will be removed. There is nothing that can stop, cause to retreat, pause, or make totally naught. There's nothing that can stop the plan of the Most High Father. Nothing, my brothers. Belief and unbelief battles over our vessels. We fight these challenges. We have these struggles. But we serve a living Elohim that have endowed us with power to come away from strongholds. It will be wise to come to grips with what is important. It will be wise to draw close to those who understand the need to yield to the guiding light of the Spirit of Yahusha and truly become representatives of a set-apart people in Yahuwah. As things become uncovered, are you willing? Are you prepared to come away from compromising fellowships, compromising actions and behaviors? As things become uncovered, will you make the decision to press into those who reflect the image of righteousness? Will you allow yourself to yield to the guidance, delivering instruction from the Spirit of Yahusha to come and be a part of a body with many members made whole, demonstrated before the face of the earth? Rise up, my brothers and sisters. Receive the brighter lights in the presence of truth. Receive the increase in discernment and pray for understanding. Know when to act, when to be still, when to speak, when to be silent. Gird up, my brothers and sisters. A time to act will come. Pray and watch. Until next time, my brothers and sisters, realize hard decisions, yes, tough choices will face us in the coming days, if not already. Until next time, be encouraged. Shalom, my brothers and sisters. Shalom. Shalom.